Okay, we're going to lead off our media availability today with Brett Moffitt. And Brett drives the number 34, Shaw's Southern Belle Seafood Ford. And had a big race last weekend at Atlanta. Running up there in that top 6 or 7 almost the whole time. Driving that 55 car last week. Getting that thing warmed up for Brian Vickers, right?
Yeah, it was a great opportunity that Toyota, Aaron's, and Mike Waltrip Racing gave me to go out there on a one-off deal and make the most of it. Really meant the world to me. It was a high-pressure situation, and it opened up this door with Front Row Motorsports over the next 3 races, and hopefully we can continue on this string of success here.
We'll talk a little bit about that, Brett, because that is a great opportunity that Front Row is presenting you to have a ride in a Sprint Cup car and to go out there and represent Ford, obviously driving the 34 car. Talk about this opportunity and how you are approaching this race weekend here at Las Vegas.
Our biggest goal with this is just to get more seat time in racing conditions. Last year I ran 7 races with Jay Robinson Racing, and that was a good experience as far as track time goes, but it really wasn't the competitive level that I needed to be at. And this opportunity at Front Row Motorsports will be a car that we can go out there and compete with other cars, race inside the top 25, and you know, get to racing door to door with the 43 other cars out there. And that's what I really need to learn. And it'll be nice being in the car multiple weeks in a row here. That's also something new for me. Last year it was kind of race to race, and we'd kind of pick and choose. But to be in 4 consistent weeks here will be huge for my career and learning.
And Brett, if I'm not mistaken, you're also a former NASCAR Next class member. Maybe just talk a little bit about your progression through the NASCAR ranks. Maybe just to give us a 30-second history lesson on how you got to where you are right now.
Yeah, growing up in Iowa, I raced go-karts for 3 years, then dirt modifieds for a year, and then started racing asphalt late models around the Midwest. And in 2009, I started racing in the NASCAR K&N Pro East Series, which I think was a big payoff last week. You know, the big thing there is tire management. You got to be there at the end of the races. The races are obviously shorter, but you only get 1, maybe 2 sets of tires, and we're on old, worn-out surfaces. So I think a lot of that related to Atlanta, and I think that was a key to success there. But being in the NASCAR Next program really helped spotlight my talent and open up some doors. It, you know, also, like I said, just the NASCAR K&N Pro East Series is such a good developmental series. Really, I've gone straight from that to the Cup Series, I would say. I've got 2 truck starts and 1 nationwide start, which isn't the traditional way to do it. But they do help groom the drivers to be prepared for whatever in that series.
Very good. We'll take some questions now if you have one for Brett Moffitt. We'll start right here with Mark, and then we'll go to Mike.
Mark Garrow, PRN. Brett, you know, when young drivers get into this thing, they're going, I think, you know, you're not here because you don't think you can do it, but you have to say, I think I can. Did Atlanta prove to you that now that I know I can?
Yeah, definitely. Ty Norris and everyone at Michael Waltrip Racing have been hugely supportive in my career, and since 2011, they've given me a place to call home. And every race, no matter where we were at, whether I was in their car or Jay's car, Ty Norris always comes up to me and just says, "Remember, you belong out here. This is your opportunity. Race like you belong out there. You know, give them respect, but don't let them take advantage of you." So that's what I really tried to do in Atlanta, knowing I was in a really well-funded and good equipment, and you know, last week did help prove that I belong out there. So
go to Mike Embry, and then to Chris Knight, and then to Mr. Creekmore. Go ahead, Mike.
Mike Embry, USA Today. Brett, sort of more on that topic, looking at last week and the 3 weeks ahead, you want to show what you can do, but you don't want to do something goofy and wreck the car or whatever. How do you kind of find where that balance is of pushing it but not pushing it too far?
I think you just need to respect the expectations. You know, it's obviously a different team with different goals in mind. And just off the top of my head, my goal is to go out there and just run smart races and finish all the races, complete the 500 miles or the 400 miles this week, and you know, just come home with a clean car, a smart race, and have something that people will respect me for.
Let's go to Chris, and then we'll go to Stan. Chris?
ChrisKnightCatchFence.com. Brett, you guys aren't guaranteed a starting spot in today's or in Sunday's race. Does that make qualifying that much more crucial for you guys during that first practice to go out there and do as many mock qualifying runs as you guys can?
I think a combination of that and this view right here is the first time I've actually ever seen the racing surface at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. So, you know, not having actual experience here is we're going to try to take advantage of this first practice and get as many runs as possible. You know, luckily the tires don't fall off here like they do at Atlanta, so we'll get a few runs out of each set here. And, you know, I don't think it'll be a problem qualifying on speed. These guys have really worked hard, and, you know, we're pulling out all the stops here, so hopefully it'll be a really good day.
Let's go to Stan. Raise your hand there, Stan. And then we'll get my man back here, David, from Albuquerque. Let's get Stan and then David.
Stan Creekmore with CompetitionPlus.com. During the race last weekend, what was the biggest moment for you that hit you in the mind as, yeah, I'm doing everything I should be doing. I'm exactly where I belong?
Well, first of all, it was a really long race. 500 miles for me is not something I'm used to. So mentally staying there and physically staying there was one accomplishment. But then towards the end of the race, when we really started running up front, you know, with the top 10 cars and being with the guys that are the best in the business, that last restart where I was able to get the 19 and the 31 on the high side, that was really cool. And then having Keselowski run me down for the next 10 to 15 laps, whatever it was there at the end of the race, was a huge accomplishment to stay in front of him, and that was one of those moments where it was I belong. You know, I was putting a lot of pressure on myself to be able to stay in front of the 2 car there, and I knew that would mean something if I could hold him off, and I did. And you know, mentally I was just telling myself, don't mess up, and it worked out, and it was a really good day.
Let's go to David from Albuquerque. We got a good little group here from Albuquerque. Last year we had 2. This year we have 3.
Growing in numbers.
Growing in numbers. Just don't ask me to spell it. Go ahead.
All right. Hey, Brett, thank you. Congratulations. David Swope with ESPN Radio Albuquerque. Congratulations on the 3-race deal with Front Row Autosports during this 3-race West Coast swing. Were there any other offers? Were there any other teams that came with some offers? Or as kind of a follow-up to that, have there been any offers for the races after this 3-race swing?
Yeah, there were a few offers on the table. Front Row Motorsports was definitely the strongest team that came to us, and you know, where we feel like not only me personally, but Michael Waltrip Racing, I could get the best experience moving forward. You know, it's a very stable team, and they've been showing a lot of success and a lot of positivity lately from really the second half of the season last year on. So when that one came about, I was really excited to work with them, and you know, I think it's going to be a very positive experience for both parties involved. And as far as moving forward, we don't really know what the future holds past these next 3, but you know, hopefully these 3 go well and it can continue to open up doors. Waltrip Racing are going to be really strong all season.
Let's go to Holly Kane right up here up front there, Amy.
Holly Kane, NASCAR.com. Actually, that brings up a good point. What is seeing what Brian has had to go through and persevere, to not give up and to be back, you know, how does that parallel kind of what you're going through right now as a young driver?
Yeah, I would say we all definitely have different stories of how we got here and how we stay here. You know, seeing him go through all this now for, you know, multiple times, and still having the willpower to come back and tell himself he's not going to be defeated is huge. And his energy and his attitude are better than ever right now. And I really think he's going to come back on top of his game here, which he's proved in the past that he can do. And Michael Waltrip Racing, as a group, really showed a lot of positivity last week compared to last year. So I think they're going to have a strong season. And, you know, comparing that to my situation, it's obviously a little bit different, but I've definitely gone through the struggles of not knowing, you know, whether I'm going to have a job in this sport or not year to year. And that's where Michael Waltrip Racing has really given me a comfort, putting me under a multi-year contract, just knowing that I have a place to call home, where in years past I didn't. So that's a big relief as a driver, and hopefully we can continue the success.
Let's move over this way here, Amy, to Mr. Jim Utter.
How you doing, Jim? Jim Utter, Charlotte Observer. You kind of just answered part of this. So what your situation right now is, you're under contract with Michael Waltrip Racing, but are they giving you the freedom to kind of explore other opportunities if they're available?
Yeah, I think Rob Kaufman said it best in the press release he let out Monday or Tuesday or whatever it was earlier this week, to where I am under a multi-year contract with Michael Waltrip Racing, but they are willing to, you know, kind of loan me out in a sense, like this weekend, to get more seat time and to get more experience that I need as a driver. He also said, you know, mentioned they're trying to build back to a third car, which, you know, hopefully things are running smoothly on that. And in the meantime, I'm just going to try to get the experience to where if the opportunity does present itself, I'll be ready.
Let's go here to Lee Spencer, and then we'll finish up with Chris Knight.
LeeSpencerMotorsport.com. A little bit different type of organization you're going into, not nearly as well funded as MWR, not a factory-backed team like MWR. Is the key to success in the next 3 races basically going to be patience, just dealing with what the car has to give you?
Yeah, and I think I learned a lot of that even at Atlanta in a well-funded car, you know, a factory team. And you got to be here at the end of the races, and the car has to be in one piece. And, you know, a couple timely cautions really saved us last week, and I feel like that can happen again this week and over the course of the next 3 weeks. So, you know, it is all about patience in these races. They're very long races. We started out not being where we needed to be as far as the car was last week, and we ended up really well. So it's just mentally not defeating yourself in the first half of the race and being there at the end.
Finish up, Chris Knight.
ChrisKnightCatchfence.com again. Brett, when did Front Row contact you, and did you discuss anything with David Reagan before you made your decision?
I did not talk to David Reagan. Front Row contacted me on Monday about it, and so everything came together really quick. But I did get the chance to talk to David Gillen and Cole Witt, and I'm really looking forward to working with them as teammates and getting a little bit of different insight in my year. And you know, I have great teammates at Michael Waltrip Racing, but it's always good to hear other opinions. So it'll be fun working with them over the next 3 weeks, and we'll see what happens.
Brett Moffitt, NASCAR Next alum, congratulations on where you are in your career. And I got a feeling we're going to be seeing a good bit of you here in years to come. And don't make yourself a stranger in the media center. So it's good to have you in here.
Thank you for having me. I look forward to it.
Thank you.